Welcome back to the show. So in today's conversation, I want to quickly talk to you about LLC business credit cards from Truist Bank. You need to understand that Truist has a constellation of very good business credit cards for your LLC, right? Now, let me just give you an overview of Truist because it's really important for us, all viewers, to understand what kind of institution we're talking about here. So when you talk about Truist, you are speaking about a bank that is not a national bank, it's not a tier one bank because they are geo restricted, they are geographically restricted, so they don't cover the 50 states. But hey, listen, it's still a good institution anyway. And if you have an LLC, you're trying to have a business credit card from Truist, the very first thing I want you to do here is to have a relationship, to start a relationship, if you haven't already, to form a relationship with Truist on the banking side. And, ideally, you want to have also a relationship on the personal side. But if you can't do it, start with the business side. Okay. So what I want you to do here is to open a business checking account for your LLC. This will help you a lot later on when you apply for your LLC business credit card. So the good thing is that Truist actually provides a great diversity when it comes to business checking accounts for your LLC. So they have a Truist Simple Business Checking, they have Truist Dynamic Business Checking, and they have a third category of accounts that they call Truist Community Checking. So this is for nonprofits. So right now for your LLC, you might be interested in Truist Simple Business Checking or Truist Dynamic Business Checking. So the only difference is the amount of daily deposit, like the daily cash deposit that you want to keep in the account. So if your LLC is well funded and you are actually you are awash in cash right now, you might want to go for the Truist Dynamic Business Checking accounts because it has more benefits. But if you are just I would say a small size LLC in terms of your liquidity flows, you want to start with Truist Simple Business Checking. It's really important to also consider maybe the business savings account, right? But hey, listen, you want to start with the checking account first. And there are pros and cons for when we talk about Truist in general in relationships with your LLC business. The pros and cons. Here are the pros. You have over 2,100 branches in the Southeast. You have a variety of city terms, and it's possible to waive the monthly service fees and checking accounts. They have checking accounts with no overdraft fees. What about the cons? Well, they pay low interest rate. The monthly service fees on most accounts are kind of high, and they have standard to low to high early withdrawal penalties on CDs. And Truist is in a constellation of locations, right? They're not a national player, so they are in Alabama, Arkansas, they are in Georgia, Florida, Indiana, Kentucky, New Jersey, Maryland, Mississippi, North Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Virginia, West Virginia, and Washington, D.C. Now, let me actually acquaint you with Truist LLC business credit cards. And so, by the way, today's topic, I just want to quickly remind you today's topic. We're having a convo about the LLC business credit cards from Truist and how do you actually apply and what are the strategies you need to put in place right now if you want to always qualify for Truist LLC business credit cards. Okay. Now, the thing is that, first of all, when we talk about LLC business credit cards from Truist, you need to know exactly what those credit cards are, right? So you do have 3 business credit cards for your LLC that Truist actually offers. So they have the Truist Business Cash Rewards credit card. They have the Truist Business Travel Rewards credit card. And then they have the Truist Business Credit Card. So the thing is that the only difference in those LLC business credit cards is the kind of rewards that you are expected. So when you have the Truist Business Cash Rewards credit card, this is if you are after a cash rewards, like cash rewards. If you're a cash strategist, if you're a cashback strategist, then you want to go after this Truist Business Cash Rewards, okay? Because the card has no annual fee. You have a 0% intro APR on purchases for 9 months after your account opening, and you have a 16.74 to 25.74% variable APR on purchases after the intro rate expires. Okay, so you have a 3% cashback on gas, 2% at restaurants and office supply stores up to $2,000 in combined spend in 2 and 3% categories per month, You have 1% cashback on all other eligible purchases. So this is just fantastic. Then for the Truist Business Travel Rewards, this is good for you if you want to accumulate travel rewards. So you have now the card does charge actually a $49 annual fee, but it is really worth it. Okay, but the good thing is they waived this the first year. You have 20,000 bonus miles when you spend 2,000 within 90 days of account opening, and the APR is kind of similar, 16.74% to 25.74% variable on purchases and balance transfers. The variable is the APR, okay? And the last business credit card for your LLC is called simply the Truist Business Credit Card, okay? And the card is a card that allows you to do to actually just purchase, okay? You have 0% intro APR on purchases for 12 months after account opening. So the APR is kind of lower here. You have 14.74% to 23.74%. So this is kind of cool. Now, let me talk to you about the Truist LLC Business Credit Card application. It's really important to understand that Truist actually loves methods. Truist loves a formula for success, and Truist has always followed the formula for success. If you want to successfully apply for a Truist LLC Business Credit Card, I want you to really listen on right now, okay? First thing first, you need to evaluate your eligibility. So when we talk about eligibility, we got to think about a lot of things. So first of all, you got to be an LLC, right? A properly registered LLC in the states where Truist has coverage, which is the second criterion, which is the geographical, the geographical coverage. I just gave you a few minutes ago the list of states where Truist is present. So your business must be in those states. The third element is that you must have a business plan. You must have financial projections. You must have financial statements. So really, it doesn't matter whether you're an established business or a startup. You need to have those two sets of accounting reports. So I'm talking about actual data and projected data. On top of that, Truist wants to see from you a business plan. This is really important, especially if you are trying to, let's say, if you are trying to establish a relationship with Truist and say, listen, my business is secure, or not secure, my business is monetarily stable. Well, you need to show this in your accounting reports. Sometimes Truist also asks for your bank statements. But the good thing is if you already have a business checking accounts with Truist, then they can actually see things in their system. They don't need you to actually tell them what's happening in terms of your liquidity flows, your inflows and outflows, right? So this is why it's really important to have a business checking relationship with Truist. One thing I also want to say when it comes to eligibility, I want to make sure that you are able to actually match your operational expenses to the type of credit card you're looking for. Remember, when it comes to Truist LLC business credit cards, we have a cashback. We have cards for cashback strategist, cashback for travel reward strategist, and a credit card for general purchases. So this is the only three things I want you to pay attention to. The second thing I want you to do here is to compare Truist LLC business credit cards and choose the right option for you. By the way, I want to quickly remind you today's topic, we're having a conversation about LLC business credit cards from Truist. Okay, we're reviewing. I'm just giving you the tips and tricks, the hacks you need to keep in mind so that you actually, when the next time you apply for a Truist business credit card, you are on top of things. See, the thing is when we talk about comparing business credit cards, and choosing the right option for you. The question is what is your goal, right? What are you trying to achieve? What is actually the most suitable strategy for your business at this point in time? Does your business want to accumulate cash rewards? At this time, does your business want to accumulate travel rewards? At this time, does your business benefit from a 0% intro APR for 12 months on purchases? Those are questions I want you to ask yourself right now. And you got to ask yourself, does your LLC actually even need a business credit card to start with? Well, you need a business credit card because, listen, you want to build credit. You want to have an extra, I would say, an extra type of cash inflows or cash, like availability of cash. So this is really important. So when we talk about actually comparing business credit cards and choosing the right option for you, there are also a few criteria I want you to really pay attention to, right? So zero intro, 0% intro APR period, the annual fee, the rewards program, okay? And you also have to think about the foreign transaction fee, the welcome bonus. Okay, so especially if you are going for a travel rewards credit card, the Truist travel rewards business credit card, you want to make sure that you are comfortable with the foreign transaction fee, if any. If they charge, because sometimes tourists they do charge, sometimes they don't charge. This is done on a card by card basis, because if you start traveling to like places that are very remote, where the foreign exchange fees, the transaction fees are really high, Truist is going to start to pass on those fees on to like to your account. So this is really important to really double check and make sure that you are on the safe side, okay? And one thing I also want to see here is that you want to constantly see whether or not the card that you have chosen actually meets what you're looking for. This is really, really important, okay? And it has to be an analysis that you do constantly. It has to be constant, and you have to always, like what I'm trying to say here is that you want to analyze whether or not every quarter, for example, every quarter, you want to analyze whether or not the card actually suits your operation, because you might have thought that you needed like a cash rewards business credit card for your LLC. Then you realize the next quarter or 2 quarters down the road that, hey, listen, what I really need is actually a travel rewards credit card. So hey, listen. The next thing I want you to do here is to complete your business credit card application so that you can have your LLC business credit card approved. Okay. And this is really important. See, the thing is, after you have narrowed down your options, let's say Truist has 3 LLC business credit cards, you've actually chosen the option that you want to go after. Think about all the requirements. Think about all the things you need to like. You need to actually fill out the application form. Now, this is where we tell our clients, we tell our business clients, we tell our viewers to go to a Truist branch, to actually have an appointment to schedule something, and to sit with a business credit card rep so that you can actually fill out the form at the branch and ask any questions beforehand. You can ask any questions and they'll answer you before you even sign the application form. So on the application form, in terms of business credit card requirements, they will need a Truist will need your LLC legal name, your LLC's legal name, the contact information for your business. Like out here, I'm talking about the mailing address and the phone number, the industry type, the business legal structure, the time in business, the number of employees, okay, the federal tax ID number. So, and the thing is that when we talk about your EIN, you don't have to necessarily have an EIN to get a Truist business credit card. But since we're talking about an LLC, that means that you're not a sole proprietorship, right? But I just want to specify that you don't need to be an LLC to qualify for a Truist business credit card. But if you're an LLC, you must have an EIN, okay? Very important. And Truist will want to have an idea of your annual business revenue, okay, your estimated monthly spend. So basically, so Truist can say, okay, this will help them actually set the initial credit limit for your business credit card. And but the Truist also want to have an idea about your own legal name, your contact information, and social security number. Okay. And if anyone else has 25% or more ownership in your LLC, you are likely have to provide this information for them as well. And the next thing I want you to do here is that you want to wait for approval, because I mean that's all you can do anyway. I mean, you've done all the research, you've gone to the branch, you have talked to a business credit card rep, and you have applied and submitted the application. You just have to wait. The thing here is that you need to understand that Truist actually will get back to you within 3 business days, depending on the on how busy they are at the location where you applied. But usually they like it might take a little longer though. But usually what we have seen in our experience is that Truist actually will get back to you a lot faster. Now, back in the days when BB&T and Trust and SunTrust were separate entities, they used to take longer, especially on the BB&T side. Now that you have a combined, after the merger between BB&T and SunTrust, things are a lot faster. Okay, Truist has become a really good bank with innovative technology. So they have actually revamped the whole business credit card approval process, business line of credit approval process, business loan approval process. So things are a lot faster. So if you apply, it shouldn't take that long. One thing I also need to say here is that there are a lot of things you have to do in the meantime. Please, if Truist gets back to you, if they're asking you questions, if they're asking you for extra evidence, if they want you to actually provide extra paperwork, please reply as soon as possible. Do not ghost them. Do not ignore their information like their SMS, their email, or their regular phone call. Sometimes they'll just text you. Yeah, if they have your number, your mobile number, they will actually text that number and say, please, we need extra information. Okay. So once you get the card, if you are successful in getting your LLC business credit card from Truist, just activate. You want to activate the card. You want to start using it responsibly. That's the key word here. You want to use your business credit card, your LLC business credit card from Truist responsibly. It means that you are only charging, you're charging what you can afford to repay, right? You're trying to keep your credit utilization ratio low. You're trying to have a system in place where you're constantly monitoring how much you are charging on the card versus your overall credit limit. This very simple routine will help you maintain a good relationship with Truist, but also improve your business credit score over time. Now, when we talk about LLC business credit cards from Truist, there's a reason why you really want to go after those. I mean, you want to have a business credit card in general, especially from Truist. Now, the good thing is that Truist actually will report your transactional data, your transactional, I would say, history to the business credit bureaus. Okay, but the thing is that they don't actually offer this automatically or reflexively because for Truist is an extra incentive. There has to be an extra incentive to submit data to the credit bureaus. So when things are good, when a business credit card holder is actually making payments on time, Truist does not have that incentive. Okay, when things go south, unfortunately, that's when Truist will actually report your data to the personal credit bureaus, but also to the business credit bureaus. So what you want to do here is that you want to actually be more proactive. You want to talk to Truist. You want to ask them to report your data to Dun & Bradstreet, to Experian and Equifax. Okay, and so you have very few benefits when you talk about LLC business credit cards from Truist. You can actually separate business and personal finances. You can actually build business credit. You have fast and easy access to working capital, and you have the ability to earn rewards. So in the case of Truist, you can earn cash rewards or travel rewards. Okay, and if you're not interested in neither, you can just get the Truist Business Credit Card, the third one, that allows you to have 0% intro APR for 12 months on purchases. So you just use the card, you just use the card to save money, and you don't have to pay any annual fee and whatnot. So this is really important. One thing I also want to say here is that you want to be in a situation where you are constantly sort of improving yourself. You're constantly checking whether or not you meet the requirements. And this is important. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is that you want to be in a situation where you are basically making sure that you are constantly separating business and personal finances. This is what you want to do anyway in the first place, because you don't want to be in a situation where you're actually mixing things up, right? You want to clearly divorce your personal expenses from your business expenses. And here we're not just talking about proper accounting. We're not talking about proper tax compliance. We're also talking about you being clear in terms of your legal compliance, not legal compliance, but let's say legal risk management. so that your personal assets are not, at risk should somebody sue you. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I was just talking to you about LLC business credit cards from Truist, how to actually get them. So I gave you an overview of Truist. So Truist at a glance, Truist LLC business credit cards, Truist LLC business credit card application. What you have to do, evaluate your eligibility, compare business credit cards, and choose the best option for you. Complete your LLC business credit card application, wait for approval, and activate your LLC business credit card and use it responsibly. Okay. And in terms of the benefits of business credit cards in general, you have a clear separation of business and personal finance. You have the ability to build business credit. You have fast and easy access to working capital, and you have the ability to earn rewards. Fantastic. Thank you so much. I will speak to you another time, but until then, remember, stay marvelous.